Hey guys, Nebraska Farm Boy here, back at it again. We just finished butchering up a pig, so the chiller that I sit beside and talk is not on, so I can talk once again about controversial subjects that are going to get people upset. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about why I don't play video games. And before I start, as a disclaimer, this is why I don't play video games. I'm not saying everybody should not play video games. This is just my personal convictions, and yeah, we can all be happy, okay? So why don't I play video games? Now, a lot of the reason why I don't play video games is because really growing up, it never was encouraged. My mom was always never a big fan of any kind of video games. My dad really thought that they were a waste of time, so I guess I just kind of grew up that way, so that's a big part of why I don't play video games. But here's why I would never, I don't want to play video games. Now, I did play some video games when I was a kid. I played the hunting games, you know, where the ducks and you shot at the ducks and then your dog laughed at you when you missed, so you shot at the dog. I don't know, that never really seemed the most edifying thing, shooting your dog on the hunt, but you really couldn't help it. We all did it, alright? I know we all did it. But I see this huge problem in our culture at large, and I'm not trying to point fingers, I'm not trying to cast blame, but I just wanted to make a few points today, and, you know, get out in my barn and change the world. Not really. First of all, we all have distractions in our life. Now, I have distractions. I love a good book. If you give me a good book, I can hardly put it down, and I'm kind of out of this world for the days while I'm reading it, because it takes me forever to finish a book these days. However, I think we all need to be very careful how we manage these distractions in our life. You know, even YouTube is a distraction. You're watching me, and I know I'm very distracting. Anyways, case in point, we all have distractions in our lives. We just have to be careful with how we manage those distractions. Now, it's okay to just have fun every once in a while, and I'm not saying you shouldn't ever play video games at all. All I'm saying here is that I have seen too many young men destroy themselves with video games. Too many men, like not even young men, destroy themselves with video games. I've seen that probably more people destroy themselves with video games than I've seen people destroy themselves with alcohol or drugs or anything. It's a socially accepted addiction, if you will. And I'm not saying everybody who plays video games is addicted. I just think we have to be very careful, because I think that with playing these potentially addictive video games, we're kind of playing with fire. So I guess it all boils down to this. I have this mental image of myself, and it's the worst nightmare of the most useless, most worthless, doesn't even need to live. The picture of that is me, 30 years old, sitting in my mom's basement playing video games. Now, if you're 30 years old and you play video games occasionally, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about an addiction here. That is the epitome of horror for me. So I will not play any video games, because whenever I think of it, I think of that mental picture. I just see so much wasting of time on video games that it's really quite sad. I think that video games are really the epitome of what it means to learn nothing. I mean, you could argue for some hand-to-eye coordination, and there is some things like training simulators for handguns and all that stuff. That's a topic for another time. But really, to me, what does it really gain you if you get to the top on the video game? Maybe you can post on social media and your friends will say, yeah, that's awesome, but really that's kind of where it ends, and it took you forever to get there, and what kind of a sense of accomplishment do you have? Now, on the flip side, say you go hunting. You get outdoors, you grab your gun, you get out maybe alone, or maybe with your dad or something, and you go out, you shoot an animal, you butcher it up, you have meat for your family, you learned a lot of valuable skills in the process, and you just had a really great time. Now, I get it, not all of you are farm boys, not all of you have the access to that kind of sport like I do, but really, just be thinking about it. If you can, get outside, guys. Take a walk. Just take a walk. Take a walk with your siblings. You might find that you actually like them. Go outside, throw a knife, shoot a gun, do whatever it takes. Just get outside, get away from the computer screen, and yeah. And guys, once again, I have distractions in my life I need to work on. I'm not trying to point fingers at people. I know I have distractions. We all need to be working on really making our lives count, even our entertainment, making it something that's going to last a lifetime, something that we can look back on when we're old and gray, and we can say, hey, you know, that was a really good time. you know, something that will make stories, that make memories. So I guess that's all for this time, folks. Without any further ado, get outdoors and we will see you next time.